Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome inside the latest edition of Across the Cavs. The NBA season is over, and we just watched an NBA Finals that had absolutely everything that you could possibly think of. We had role players coming out of the woodwork and winning games. Alex Caruso, Aaron Wiggins, TJ McConnell, Ben Mathurin. We had the Pacers do that thing in game one where they rally from a massive deficit and come all the way back to steal a win at the last minute with Tyrese Halliburton doing his thing. We saw SGA and Jalen Williams both have monstrous performances in games 4 and 5, respectively. And for the first time since 2016, we got a game 7. Cavs and Warriors, as many will remember, their third game, or their second of the 4 finals get-togethers, that went to 7. But we watched something absolutely exceptional over these last 17 days, and would be remiss to not come on here, Cavs or not, to just talk about basketball. Miss doing the pod, miss getting on and just talking hoops. And after what we saw in this game and in the series with all these big moments and big buckets, clutch time minutes, I mean, wow. So the only thing this finals did not have, for me, and for all of us here that are across the Cavs regulars, we didn't have the Cavs in this finals. But the Pacers, as the 4 seed, ran the gauntlet of the Eastern Conference, took down the Bucks in round 1, upset the Cavs in round 2. They got the Knicks last round. They gave the Thunder everything they had, taking them 7 games, which in and of itself is an incredible feat, but it was not enough. And if you think about the series as a whole, from J-Dub's 40-point game, SGA's big shots in game 3, Tyrese coming through in game 1, the way he did, the deficits they overcame, it really took a lot for OKC to win this title. They almost didn't get out of round 2. The Denver Nuggets pushed them to 7 games as well. Nikola Jokic, who lost the MVP regular season trophy to Shea, took them to 7. And they were close, but they couldn't do it. And tonight, by virtue of a 103-91 final score, they get the win. I mean, you can look at so many Game 7 stats that paint the picture. For Indiana, just 18 baskets from inside the arc, 17 fewer attempts than the Thunder. They turned the ball over 14 more times than their opponents. They were minus 24 in points off turnovers. Alex Caruso and Kasem Wallace both got hot early in the game. But Jalen Williams started 2 of 8, then went 5 of 12, but he had some big ones late. Lou Dort's circus shot in the third quarter with the shot clock about to touch down. He had 3 steals. Of course, unsung hero from this game, 18 points, 8 rebounds, 5 blocked shots. Chet Holmgren coming through in a big, big way for the Oklahoma City Thunder. 5 blocked shots, looking like one of Al Harrington's wacky, waving inflatable arm flailing tube men with the way his arms are just going up, and just hanging in the air. Chet Holmgren denying TJ McConnell and Benedict Mathurin and everybody that was trying to go inside and score. So Chet Holmgren's defense, as he was plus 10, a massive part in this ball game. Lou Dort, talk about his defense. Shea, talk about his shooting struggles. I mean, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander shot a concert date. He was 8 for 27 tonight. But he had 5 rebounds, 12 assists, 2 blocks, and he hit 11 of his 12 free throws with just 1 turnover. It's the 12 assists to 1 turnover. It's still 29 points on 27 shots. Not the most efficient. Same for Jalen, 20 points on 20 shots. Really, 103 points. It's the first time in the last 5 Game 7s that in the finals that a team goes over 100 points. But they won it on the other end of the floor. Siakam, 5 for 13, TJ McConnell had his big day with 16, 6, and 3. He scored 12 straight in the third, but he did also turn the ball over 7 times, which cannot be overstated. For all the big games Obi Toppin had, he went scoreless with 3 turnovers in 20 minutes. Minus 13 with him on the floor. Miles Turner, 6 points and 4 rebounds, talking about how he's going to get a big payday this summer. Do we have any new questions from Indiana about Miles Turner when he goes 6 and 4 in a game 7 and goes 1 of 4 at the line? His final points came with that 3 ball in the third that tied the game at 56. Now, Andrew Nembhard did what he could, but without Tyrese Halliburton there, he really couldn't do too much. 15, 5, and 6. And for Tyrese Halliburton, that is the saddest part of this whole thing. We're 6 minutes in, haven't touched on it yet. Tyrese Halliburton's injury changed the trajectory of the game and now of the Pacers' future. They did what they could without him in this game. They hung tight for 2.5 quarters. Eventually, OKC proved to be too much to overcome. Big shots in every round, double-doubles galore, lack of turnovers, his speed, his facilitating, his step back, his swagger, his aura, his confidence. Tyrese Halliburton's energy. He did so much for this team in the postseason, including doing it to Cleveland. Look, it stunk watching it in round 2, but then you watch him do it against the Knicks, and you watch him do it against the other number 1 seed, best team in the league, OKC, and you're like, damn, this kid is insane. And we kind of knew Halliburton's ability, watching what he did in the first 2 rounds last year before getting hurt ultimately in the conference finals. But playing on a bad calf, hitting 3 threes in the game's first 6 minutes, the third 3 sending OKC into a timeout. Not a minute later, he tries to drive. He goes down. He's banging the floor, and things definitely changed from that moment. Losing Tyrese Halliburton killed not only the confidence, but the opportunity for Indiana to really come in and steal a Game 7 in the loudest arena in the league, in which Cavs fans are incredible, especially in the playoffs. And Indiana fans were roaring. All the teams in the playoffs, but you think about the roar of OKC, it was a very hard place to play all season. They lost just 2 home playoff games as opposed to 5 games they lost on the road. You knew you were going to need Tyrese. You didn't have him. They did what they could for him. 42 of the 91 points ultimately coming from the bench. A lot of them Ben Mathurin late in the game and TJ McConnell in the third quarter. But when push comes to shove, you're minus 14 in the third. You took a lead into the locker room and could not leave, or you could not stamp any footprint in the third quarter. Neesmith was a +6. He had 4 stocks, 2 blocks, 2 steals, but he fouled out. He only scored 3 points. He could not find his rhythm. You do need Aaron Neesmith to give you some buckets, especially if Ben Shepherd is shooting once in his time. You don't have Halliburton. The big problem was nobody picked up the slack when he went down. Nobody had one of those games where you're just like, wow, wow, wow. TJ had a stretch, but 16 points and 7 turnovers in a Game 7 is not exactly screaming fearless leader to me. And the pressure he faced was incredible. There were less options to pass it to. Can't sleep on the fact that Jarris Walker's ankle injury last round took him out of the equation. Definitely felt like when Tyrese went down instead of Shepherd, you definitely would have gotten some quality minutes from Jarris, who was doing that against the Knicks last round before his injury. Did that against Cleveland in the regular season when the team was shorthanded. But one other thing that, before we move on to the end and to next season, and it's late in the third quarter, and Oklahoma City is starting to run away. They're up, 9 points, 11 points at the time, and we see Indiana. Throw out a lineup of McConnell, Shepherd, Mathurin, Toppin, and Tony Bradley, who then got replaced by Thomas Bryant, who, to be fair, had a wide-open 3. Should have made that after coming in. He did hit some big 3s in the postseason. None today. But Nembhard on the bench. Neesmith on the bench. Siakam on the bench and Turner on the bench together with all reserve lineup for them? What are you doing? TJ was playing great ball, but why do you have 5 reserves on the court against SGA, Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, and Alex Caruso, Cason Wallace, and Lou Dort? What are you doing, Rick Carlisle? The oldest coach to ever lead a team to the NBA Finals, besting Pop by about a month or 2 from 2014 with the Heat Spurs series. But, bro, come on, man. That's a mistake. You have to have your top guys in. Siakam's rest in the third quarter was way too long. They could have used him. And also, how is he only getting 13 shots? 16, 4, and 2 assists for Pascal Siakam. 13 attempts with your season on the line and your superstar out injured. Bro, man, you can't do that. And so, as we think back on the season and how it all went down, it was a sensational playoffs that we got this season. You know, leading up to, on the West side, Minnesota, who had never made they hadn't won a playoff series since 03-04 prior to the 23-24 playoffs. They go back-to-back conference finals. They blow out the Thunder by 38 in Game 3 on their home floor. Denver took OKC to 7. Denver and the Clippers went to 7. The Warriors-Rockets first-round series, which turned out to be the final Houston games for Jalen Green, deservedly, essentially, if they want to win big with how he didn't show up. And Dillon Brooks, the Rockets, going with them, 7 games. Minnesota playing the Lakers round 1. The Cavs destroying Miami in that first round, and then Indiana coming in and kind of just bossing them. The Knicks stunning the Celtics twice in clutch time to start the series, and then ultimately eliminating last year's champions in round 2. The Indy-Milwaukee meltdown on an 8-point lead or 7-point lead with 30 seconds. It was a playoff for the ages with, 4 Game 7s that we got. All fantastic basketball games. You saw Buddy Hield go crazy for the Warriors against Houston. It was a playoff to remember. And now we had a Kevin Durant trade today, sending him to Houston. You get 6 draft picks to Phoenix. They made a potential splash if Jalen Green can find his groove next to Devin Booker. You get Dillon Brooks, some toughness defensively. If you're Houston, you've already got Eason and Thompson defensively on the wing. You're going to have more opportunities now for Reed Shepherd, who showed some flashes after being the number 3 pick. You have your all-star Şengün, and Fred VanVleet comes back. Certainly excited to see what they do, how their offseason goes. They gave $39 million to Steven Adams to remain as Şengün's backup and occasional right-hand man. You got the NBA draft, folks, in just 3 days. 3 days until the NBA draft, where the Cooper Flag era likely now begins in Dallas with Anthony Davis. Not Luka Doncic. Remember that trade that happened in February? Kyrie out with an Achilles injury to start the season, but we'll be back later. A lot of potential for Dallas to kind of retool suddenly after the low lottery odds and winning the draft. You have the Spurs already with Wembanyama, De'Aaron Fox, Devin Vassell, Stephon Castle. They're going to pick second. You might have a Paul George trade in the next couple days. You could have a Lauri Markkanen trade in the next couple days. A couple of teams are certainly going to be active. You're going to see some guys moved. You're going to see Wemby come back from his blood clot next season. Spurs potential playoff team. See what Minnesota does. What are they going to do with Naz Reid or Rudy Gobert? Probably nothing with Gobert because he would have been in the KD trade. How much did the Pacers pay Miles Turner after his disappointing NBA Finals? Did his stock drop all the way down? There's a lot to look at and just a lot to be excited about. And we have to mention this is Across the Cavs. That is my platform here. Cleveland now. And please, Tyrese Halliburton, get well soon. The Celtics aren't going to have Jason Tatum next year, and they already have some tax problems. So they're going to have to move a couple starters. The Bucks don't have Damian Lillard for next season. The Knicks still don't have a coach. So whatever coach comes in, Tibbs built it up over 5 years. They're going to have to start over with a new coach next season. We'll see what the lineup looks like if they make any trades to either get bigger or improve lineup cohesion. Maybe that just happens with the coach. But they aren't going to be running it back exactly the same after a conference finals trip. Indy's going to be without Tyrese. Boston is going to be without Tatum, and they're going to have to shuffle some other pieces, probably move on from guys like Sam Hauser, Kristaps Porzingis, possibly Al Horford, so they have to get a new center. The Bucks, without Damian Lillard, have to get a new lead guard all of a sudden to pair with Giannis, which is going to change a lot for them. Indy doesn't have a starting all-star point guard anymore. They have to pay Turner. Let's see what they do with the rest of the roster. And the ability of Halliburton to facilitate and create is what made them so dangerous, so hot. So with him out, do they regress significantly from going back-to-back conference finals? As far as some of the other teams, the Orlando Magic, bringing in Desmond Bane, should at least be a threat to get to the second round. In a now wide-open East, the Pistons could look to improve the roster around Cade after they took the Knicks to 6 games. The East certainly has, the Hawks trade Trae Young is another question we've got. What does Miami do? Clearly not working with what they have. Are they going to make any significant changes? Will Philadelphia bounce back into contention with Maxey and Embiid in this wide open East? Do the Hornets and Wizards ever climb out of the cellar? Do the Raptors have a better season with Brandon Ingram finally on the court? And let's see for the Kings, who might be looking to blow things up at the wing spot with DeRozan, and we'll see what they do with LaVine. But how did they come back? Let's see what happens. Mike Brown might be getting a job soon with the Knicks. If he does, let's see what happens there. The series of them and the Cavs would certainly be a battle. But this was a series to remember. And, folks, despite all the missed shots by both of them throughout the series, SGA and Jalen Williams, 377 points in the finals, the second most by a duo since the ABA-NBA merger when this data became available in 1976, behind LeBron and Kyrie in 2016 and just ahead of Jordan and Pippen in 1973. So, as we look to next season, all these teams shorthanded and missing guys and changing the culture. The Cavs have 3 All-Stars, Garland, Mobley, and Mitchell. They got Jared Allen. They got DeAndre the Hunter, Strus. See if they re-sign Jerome. They have some other choices to make with Dean Wade and Okoro. We should be seeing more Craig Porter minutes, maybe some Jalen Tyson opportunities. They'll have some other roster spots to fill with guys like Javonte Green and Chuma Okeke likely not coming back. Free agency will start in the next couple weeks. It is going to be a bonanza of moves. Get your phones ready. Woj. Wow. No Woj. That's right. The first Woj-less free agency. So we got Mike Scotto. We got Chris Haynes. We got Shams Charania. You might see a couple other guys sneaking in to break some stories like Mark Stein. So get your push notifications ready to go. It's going to be a heck of a basketball summer. It's got to be thoughts of a championship appearance for Cleveland next season representing the East. The big thing, and after watching what the Pacers did to them and then what they did to other teams, can they get tough? Can they limit turnovers? And can they make big shots down the stretch against a very physical team that's going to make them have to dig deep? They can do some of these things. Maybe we'll see what happens. But there will be some summer content, so don't go anywhere, folks. Zach White, Across the Cavs on Network 216. Thank you all for stopping by. We'll see you again real soon, but it's off-season time. It's draft time. Let them know.